Open up your article to page 3. We're going to read the biography of Daniel Boone. And remember that a biography is a story about someone's life. All right, so let's get started. Daniel Boone was a famous explorer who lived about 200 years ago. He helped settle land in what is now Kentucky. Even though he is famous now, his life started out just like most boys at that time. Daniel's family was large. He had 10 brothers and sisters. His parents, Sarah and Squire Boone, worked very hard as pioneers in Pennsylvania. Daniel liked to spend his time outside. He loved to hunt in the woods. He could hunt with just a sharp stick. When he was 12, he learned to hunt with a rifle. A rifle is a type of gun. Daniel learned to read and write, but he liked the woods better than school. When Daniel's family moved to North Carolina a few years later, he earned a living hunting and selling furs. Later, Daniel married and had 10 children. He hunted and farmed to take care of his family. One day, Daniel went on a long hunting trip. He saw Kentucky for the first time. He explored the land with some of his friends. They followed American Indian trails. In 1773, Daniel decided to bring his family to Kentucky to live. On the way, the family was attacked by a group of American Indians. One of Daniel's sons was killed. A very sad Boone family went back to North Carolina. Daniel went to work helping to build a road to Kentucky. It became known as the Wilderness Road. The road made it possible for people to move to and settle in Kentucky. Daniel helped build one of the first communities in Kentucky, too. Many people came to live in Boonesboro. Over time, Kentucky wilderness got too crowded for Daniel and his family. They moved further west to Missouri frontier. Daniel Boone was a man who loved and respected the wilderness. The wilderness is the land outside, where there's not a lot of houses and people. He worked creating roads and building communities, helped the United States grow. Daniel Boone is a true American hero. All right, now we're going to read this bottom section on page 3 called What is Bartering? Have you ever traded a tuna sandwich in your lunch for a PBJ, peanut butter and jelly sandwich? That's called bartering. Bartering is trading one good or service for another without using money. In early communities, many people had little or no money. They traded things they had for things they needed. For example, a family with several cows might trade one cow to a family who had plenty of corn. Their first family got to eat. The second family got a new cow and had milk to drink. Both families got something they needed without paying money for it. Everyone was happy. So bartering again means trading something without using money. All right, now we're going to read this little short biography of Sacagawea. Lewis and Clark might never have been able to explore the West if we hadn't been for a Shoshone woman. Sacagawea was kidnapped when she was just a little girl. She was sold to a fur trader, and she later became his wife. Lewis and Clark met Sacagawea and her husband when they camped for winter in North Dakota. She had a baby boy at a camp and brought him along for the rest of the journey. Sacagawea knew that the land around her very well. She understood the languages of the American Indians in the area. Sacagawea spoke with American Indians about bartering for horses and supplies for supplies the group needed. Sacagawea was a brave young woman. She helped blaze a trail for many people who moved to the West in the 1800s. So, Sacagawea was an American Indian woman who spoke the languages of the American Indians, and she helped Lewis and Clark travel through the wilderness in this unknown territory when the United States bought this, called the Louisiana Purchase. So she helped them travel and communicate with the American Indians. All right, go ahead and take out your gray sheet and get started.